We are collecting goods, selling them, and trying to impress Sobek in Sobek 2 players, courtesy of VR distribution. I'm joined by Ruby. Ruby, welcome.
Thank you, thank you. So happy to be here.
I'm glad to hear. You'll be taking us off first as we're sort of selecting tiles. But first, you're studying something that's pretty interesting. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so I'm just about to finish my Masters of Music Therapy, which is not a very well-known degree, but it's an allied health profession, much like a physiotherapist or an occupational therapist or social work, and often will have similar goals as these professions, but we'll use music to meet those goals.
Okay, so you're sort of like a holistic sort of treatment of people using, as I said, using music to try and so is there a certain sort of, is it to, you know, try and help people who have trauma, or is it people who maybe experienced something, or is like, I guess, what is the music side of things bringing to the table?
That's a very big question.
While we're sort of pondering that question of can you quickly and briefly explain your entire profession, do you want to kick us off by taking one of our starting tiles? And I guess what's interesting about this game is the selection is based on when you select, you're actually choosing the orientation of the ankh, which is going to sort of dictate how the next player chooses their piece as we sort of build up sets. And those sets are, when we're selling them or when we're doing points at the end, it's the amount of them times the starobs. So you have to use the multiplication table, which is always scary, but we're going to do that together. And then there's also some characters and some other bonuses, which we'll probably get to at some stage.
Excellent. I would like to choose this hay to begin with.
Okay, I'm going to take this here. So I asked a big question because I've sort of, in my role as a student nurse, I've seen, so that one, I've got to do the angle.
Diagonal.
Yep. I've seen it a little bit, but can you sort of, I guess, what drew you to it?
My family are all musicians, and I studied at the conservatorium in my undergrad. I studied classical voice. And while I was doing that, I was also doing a lot of psychology subjects. And in my final semester, I found out that there's actually a way to marry the two, and found out about music therapy.
I'm going to jump this character and put it here. I'm going to grab the wheat. But I'm actually going to discard this wheat for the points.
Oh, true.
Which I'm going to see how many points there are, but you're not. So, So you could sort of marry music which you'd sort of studied before, and which you used to have a family background, but then you can also use it sort of in a healthcare setting.
Yeah, so we can be in hospitals or in schools or aged care facilities or just in the community. And yeah, the way that we use music is always very different.
Let's start this and get points again.
Sometimes it's a motivator, say someone who has had a stroke and is learning how to walk again. They might not enjoy doing their daily exercise, but if you have some music, it helps organize the movement because the body is not initiating the movements, it's following a beat.
There's been sessions when I worked in an adolescent unit for a little while, mental health unit, and there was music therapy session, but I think it was also sort of, well, the pandemic period, so some stuff was cancelled, so I haven't actually been in any sessions. So it's something I haven't experienced.
I should have made you help out with an assignment or something. Got the full experience.
Well, okay. So say it was like an adolescent inpatient unit for mental health. So you've got kids who might be suffering, or teenagers, sorry, who might be suffering from mental health issues, whether that's, you know, some depression, suicidal ideation, might be bipolar, eating disorders. You've got a range of different cases. If you're in that sort of environment, what is the music therapy sort of sessions hoping to achieve?
I would say if you're going to have a mixed group like that, music therapy might just be a place to express, to settle, a safe space for them to be creative. We might just put on some music and do some collages or drawing or something like that, which sounds quite basic. But the role of music in that situation would be to regulate the environment. We know that music regulates mood. If you're feeling sad and you listen to some sad music, that's going to spiral you. Or, you know, if you listen to some happy music, that you take that on. So listening to some calming music. It's also can be, especially for adolescents, quite an identity point. So the kind of music that I listen to says a lot about the kind of person that I am. And adolescents are going through a really big growth of identity and trying to decide who they are and how they're going to project that to the world. Sometimes adolescents with mental health issues, that can be quite a problem with a lack of identity or a lack of how to formate that and differentiate that from their family identity or from a childhood identity into I'm an adult now and I need to express that. So finding other ways for them to express their identity in a healthy way can be through music selection. So group of teenagers, you say, hey, what's your choice of music? That gives them an opportunity to perform their identity in a context. And if someone else goes, oh, I love that band, they're really, really cool, that's really great positive community building within that facility.
So the self-expression, and then building connections and help again identity. And like I think we all went through a Nirvana phase when we were younger. That you definitely sort of there is that period where you might go from liking more stuff, maybe aimed at younger kids, and then you're sort of like, no, this is what I want to do. And often that's, away from the type of music your parents might like. And then sometimes I remember it was an older cousin for me that eventually convinced me that some of my parents' music was actually pretty good. But you kind of, at the time, you don't want to think that. So I think that is my turn.
I think it is your turn.
So I'm going to sell some fish. I got 4 fish there with a couple of scarabs, and I'm going to grab one of these. And then it's to you.
I'm going to take that tile.
Which means now we can no longer select tiles on the board. We can only sell or use characters. And I have 2, 2, 1. It is a character. So I'm going to use the character, which is saying if you have more than 6 cards in hand, you put them in your corruption pile. You don't, but it's just one less card going to my corruption pile.
Excellent.
Your turn.
I got nothing.
Cool. So then these ones go to our corruption pile, and we work out our scores, which are on the back of here.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4 times 4.
16.
16, yes, I knew that one. Plus 14. Slam dunked.
Yes, after the power multiplication, we said power, it almost beat us. Ruby, you have smashed me, almost lapped me by 50. You managed to utilize multiplication some more tiles than I did. Congratulations. Thank you for sort of chatting about your experience as studying music therapy. Interesting to sort of see how it goes in the future.
Thank you so much for having me. This was fun.